It's time to lay it on me, cause show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me, cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
This ain't financial advice, just a little DD to help you think twice. We hold for each other, eyes on the prize. The new floor's 200,000 times 5. I joke, I kid, no, I don't know a damn thing. I'm as simple as Bubba trying to sell some damn shrimp. Can't spell IQ, can't even count to 10. And I eat crayons every day with my friends. I think about Kenny in his ivory tower, shaking in his lily boots as the apes overpower. Must suck to lose to monkeys, so dumb. But you made your bed and you got nowhere to run. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he makes the prize fall. And he watching as we keep on more. You forgot we on the float, blind 2 hours old. Lie, stop breaking the law, asshole.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me, cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Yeah, crayon eating Lambo loving smooth brain, stupid ass. Throwing all my money at the streets like a quarterback. If you don't mean a thing, water up a dust back. Apes not leaving nothing till we get the money stacks. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey holding to it blue. Monkey magic coming through us monkeys on the moon. Double digit IQ, tendy loving bamboo. Right here we got more smoothies than a jumbo juice. Probably thought you coulda made us sell all the gooder. And hell, we maybe woulda, but we more than the Buddha. The floor 6 figures ain't selling for less. You took on the ape nation and you're fucking with the best. We hold for each other, my sisters and my brothers, the fighters and the lovers. We don't need another fan because we huddle through hard times and struggles, cause we're just a couple of diamonds in the rough.
Show us the fucking money. It's time to lay it on me, cause what's mine is ours. This shit belongs to the army. Gon' need to see them Benjis. We hungry for them tendies. Give us this day our daily bread. Show us the fucking money.
Moon gang. Oh brother, oh brother, oh brother, oh brother, oh brother. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Lots of things going on. Lots of things going on. I think the main thing, I can't even say that. There's so many things going on, but hey, we're going to talk about it all. We're going to be talking about stonks. We're going to be talking about crypto. We're going to be talking about Citadel Securities versus the SEC. And we're just going to be talking about dumb apes making dumb money. And I'm more than happy. What is this? Episode 118 of Dumb Money. Hey, I'm Matt, the host of your show, coming at you live through the interwebs of my mom's basement, and we're going to be talking about it all, absolutely all of it. Exciting stuff. Now, before I get into the specifics of the stonks that are running, the cryptos that are running, let me paint you a better picture of really what's going down today. So, stock market, all-time high. The NASDAQ itself, remember the Qs that tracks the NASDAQ, that's the ETF QQQ, the Qs, that was up almost 1% yesterday, and it pretty much completely was because of Tesla. And we're actually gapping up even higher. Look at this. The SPY, S&P 500, gapping up to a new all-time high. That means that we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 separate gaps to the south side, which means money-making opportunity. NASDAQ, a little bit more tech-centric. Obviously, Tesla's in it. But beyond that, we have excitement in the tech world right now. Facebook reported their earnings. I'll be talking about that. And then we have some other big earnings today as well. So right now, before the market opened, you guys all know GE. After the market closes today, AMD, Microsoft, Alphabet, aka Google, Visa, Twitter, Robinhood, lots of names. Tomorrow morning, Boeing, GM, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Spotify. it's earnings season. It's tech earnings season. Crazy stuff going on. Later this week, we also have Apple, Amazon, Shopify, Starbucks, Merck. We'll be hearing some COVID updates, like just big names all reporting. Between Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, and Tesla. Tesla didn't report. All the other ones did. Those are literally the biggest companies in existence right now. So you have some big swingers reporting, a lot tech heavy. So if they are successful, we might be seeing a new all-time high in the Qs. And then just to also talk on the Russell 2000, I've been calling out 230 for quite a while, and I made a killing in the futures market playing the Russell 2000. I kept calling out 230 ever since this gap up and the bounce off of 224. That $6 move is exponentially more in the futures market. You could have played it however you wanted to, but this is nice. I mean, I've been pointing out the W, the wedge, the higher lows, the cup and handle, whatever you want to call it, bullish, bullish, bullish. IWM, Qs, and SPY. Does it make sense at all that we're at a new all-time high? No. But I'm not one to say, hey, we have to make sense of everything. Right here, I find it very, very funny that a lot of mainstream media will argue at us apes about buying something that is fundamentally overvalued. They're like, how could you possibly be in AMC? How could you possibly be in GME? How could you possibly be in Bitcoin? All of these things overvalued from a fundamental basis. But then I guarantee you, I would bet any amount of money in the world, all these fancy schmancy Wall Street elites, all these fancy schmancy mainstream media commentators, I all bet they have exposure to the overall market. So talk about the pot calling the kettle black. If you're involved in the market right now, that's fundamentally overvalued. Seriously, I don't know what kind of drugs are taken, but I might have to call up their dealer because that makes no sense. For them to argue that our stock market all-time high, I don't feel like the economy is the best it's ever been in the history of mankind. So a little bit of just them particularly picking the narrative that they want to run with that day, that whatever suits their case, whether they're trying to get views for advertisers or just to piss off the retail trading public. I don't know their motives, but I find it a bit humorous. So anyway, do I think that the overall market, the SPY, the Qs, IWM are all overvalued? Yes. But I also think it's just going to keep going just because, remember, this is a big aspect of AMC and GME. Like, it's not exclusively fundamentals that drive a market or an individual equity or an option or anything like that. And right now we're just seeing all this go higher and higher and higher, but like I'm still going to play because I think it can still continue higher, even though I think there is a clear distortion between our economy, the stock market, and where our stock market would be fairly fundamentally valued at this moment in time. But overall, market ripping higher, higher, and higher. So Facebook reported yesterday, and they actually beat better than expected third quarter earnings, its decision to add $50 billion to its stock repurchase plan. So this is actually a very bullish news. Whenever you hear a company buying their own stock, the reason it's bullish is because they think that the market is undervaluing where the stock should be at. So on top of it, it beat earnings. And then it also bought its own stock. So that's kind of like showing to the public, hang on, like it's actually probably worth more because the insiders to the company, you know, the people who have all the information think it's actually worth more. And it fell short on revenue. Its earnings per share were $3.22 versus $3.19. So overall, a little bit of a mixed bag, but still generally good. The biggest issue currently facing Facebook is actually more of like this thing going on with Frances Haugen. Facebook's quarterly results come against the backdrop of a large ongoing document dump from the whistleblower Frances Haugen. She was talking to the US Congress. Now she's talking to the UK. Kind of some crazy stuff. But of course, the robot man himself, Mark Zuckerberg, defended the social media platform on Monday's earnings call, contending that the leak is painting a false picture of our company. You know, if I was running a company that was driving our adolescents to high levels of anxiety, stress, and in some very sad, morbid cases, suicide, I would also be like, false picture of our company. That's not what we're about. So a little bit there, just so you know, from a technical perspective, if you check out FB, it does look like there's a gap fill opportunity up to 338. So some money making opportunity right there. Pretty low risk, nice reward. You could watch 338 for that gap fill. One of the exciting narratives from yesterday was that Tesla reached 1 trillion in market cap. Quick, fun fact coming at you. Pro tip from Matt. second fastest company to ever hit 1 trillion, with the number one company, oddly enough, actually being Facebook. Pretty impressive. Second fastest time ever to hit 1 trillion in market cap. This came on the back of Hertz ordering 100,000 vehicles from Tesla by the end of 2022. They paid $4.2 billion, which means they got absolutely no discounts if you do the math. I find it interesting. I mean, Hertz last year, bankruptcy. This year, they're putting in an order for $4.2 billion. So that from in the short time frame, very much helping Tesla. On top of it, oil is sky high. As I'm saying this right now, oil's around $84 a barrel, the highest it's been in about 7 years. And with that, obviously, as prices go up, that makes a stronger argument for EV. So on the macro scale, because of what OPEC and its allies is doing, inflation, various other things, the short term of Hertz, Tesla's looking very, very good. In pre-market right now, it's down slightly. Not even $1. It's down $1, and we're talking thousands. So it's pretty much where it closed out yesterday. I think it keeps going higher. Tesla has notoriously burned shorts to the tune of billions and billions of dollars. Speaking of billions of dollars, I don't know how many of you traded Tesla yesterday. I myself got a little piece of the action. My play is still open. I haven't locked anything in, but I think most people would be stoked if they made 30,000. I think if people made 30 million, they would be extremely excited because that's truly life-changing money. Well, you know how much Elon made yesterday? Yesterday alone. Elon's net worth, not his bank account, his net worth, because he's tied up in equity in Tesla, he gained $30 billion. He is now just shy of $300 billion. He's worth around $288 billion right now, just shy of $300 billion. He's not only the world's richest man, but he's about to start running laps on people, folks. Like, this isn't just like, oh, he just edged out someone. He's about to start running laps on the likes of Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos. He's definitely running laps on Bill Gates. Like, Bill Gates is becoming a tortoise in the race of the world's richest people. He made $30 billion yesterday. He made the GDP of some small countries yesterday in just the 12.66% gain of the stock. Absolutely incredible. All right. Biden institutes no COVID rules for international visitors when travel curbs lift. So this goes into effect November 8th. So what's that, about 2 weeks? Airlines will be required to check the vaccination status of passengers flying to the U.S. and collect information that can be used for contact tracing. Additionally, unvaccinated Americans and adult travelers who receive an exemption for the vaccine requirement must now test negative within 1 day. So just for people traveling, I wanted to share that information. It goes into effect on November 8th. And for more of the political front, Democrats scramble to reach deal on Biden's social spending plan. Should Democrats agree on a scaled-back version of the spending plan, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi would then bring up the vote for the companion bipartisan infrastructure bill that's already passed the Senate. So this is the infrastructure bill that passed the Senate, not the spending plan. If the House approves the legislation, Biden may sign it into law later this week. Kind of some confusion there because he's expected to travel to Europe later this week for all of his like various summits, blah, 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 fancy schmancy European summits. So coming back to the domestic spending package, at first they wanted 3.5 trillion. Now most estimates are closer to 1.75 trillion. That will never not surprise me by like, okay, let's just lop off $2 trillion. So speaking of the spending package, the Senate is tough to get things passed right now, especially when you have some Democrats who are a little bit on the edge. The senator from West Virginia and the senator from Arizona, they need their support or it will not pass because right now the Senate is evenly split, obviously with the vice president being the tie-breaking vote. But depending on how these two senators go, they might not even be at that 50-50 mark. So that's all related to the spending package. But once again, the infrastructure bill has already passed the Senate, just so everyone's up to date on these numbers from 1.5 to 2 trillion, which I don't think that our brain could possibly understand. So recently, we've been talking about some serious allegations of insider trading. I had the privilege of last week going on with Charles Payne, making money on Fox there, and right when I was on there. It was actually a really fun experience because like you're in this waiting room, you're looking at your camera, you're getting ready, and the producer comes in. He's like, Matt, there's some breaking news. And I was like, what's the breaking news? He's like, we just received word from Bloomberg that the Federal Reserve is going to implement new regulations that they cannot own individual stocks or bonds. I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. He's like, great, you're going to talk about it. I was like, let's let this go. And from that, I mean, this is a story. The overarching narrative of manipulation and insider trading and people abusing their power and positions has been a story that I've been following now for over a year because I just think it blows my mind. And like I think a lot of the people in the public, they just let it happen because they don't even know it's happening. So we don't know what to cry out about. Let me just lay out a few for you. This is 3 of a gazillion. We have Federal Reserve members, chairman, trading right before they announce a drop in interest rates and one of the most insane unlimited quantitative easing policies we have ever seen in mankind. This happened in early 2020. They did it, and then they would change their account from bonds to stocks, and then a week or two later, they made these announcements, and then stocks have been, like I just said, we're at an all-time high. So they absolutely destroyed that trade. We also have federal judges literally actively, as they're presiding over a case, hearing litigation from both sides involving a company, the judges presiding over the case have been trading that company's stock. Insane. And then on top of it, just in more of a general sense, we have Congress people, I should say, who are getting out of their meetings in February, finding out how bad the COVID pandemic issue is going to be on a global macro scale. They're trading all their stocks, they're selling out, and then like a month later, the world goes belly up. Like we see this pattern time and time again. And that's just me doing like a little bit of that. I know 3. I mean, you can go on and on about this. Well, not too long ago, the Wall Street Journal reported the case of about, I think it was 131 federal judges who were kind of trading or their spouses were trading on cases that they were actively presiding over. And this is kind of interesting here. Federal judges would face tougher stock trading rules under bipartisan bill. House hearing set, planned actions followed the Wall Street Journal's report on financial conflicts in the judiciary. Federal judges would be required to report stock trades over $1,000 within 45 days and post their financial disclosures forms online under legislation proposed by a bipartisan group of lawmakers in the Senate and House of Representatives. So, okay, over 1,000, I'm with that. Within 45 days, I have a crazy idea. Why not that day or the next day? Like, if the argument is that, like, the argument that some of these big Wall Street firms take in the realm of, oh, okay, it's anti-competitive, of like, it is important to know if Goldman Sachs just loaded up on like 1 million shares of Apple. That's a big deal. But my issue is, should someone, an individual federal judge or their spouse, like report it the next day? Because if the argument's it's anti-competitive for them, well, what size of stock are they trading then that it would be actually influential to the entire market? I don't see a qualm if they're like, well, hang on, I'm buying millions and millions and millions. It's like, well, a person in that, like, I guess, position, I scratch my head about like, I don't know if we want them presiding over cases anyway. Like, to me, that seems like it could very quickly become some serious ethics issues. So anyway, the meeting is today on this to discuss if they want to examine. They're examining the breaches identified in the Wall Street Journal's report right here, the 131 judges violating the federal law. The Senate version of the stock trading reporting bill, called the Courthouse Ethics and Transparency Act, would require judges to comply with the same law that applies to the president, vice president, presidential appointed administrative officials, senators, House members, according to the congressional aides and a draft of the bill. That law, known as the Stock Act, that's exactly the law we were talking about with Lisa Branganza in the interview, for stopping trading on congressional knowledge, requires government officials to report their financial transactions over $1,000 within 45 days. So the issue with this is, first of all, why were federal judges not already under this? Like, why is this becoming a thing in October of 2021? That doesn't make sense. But still, there's a couple issues with the Stock Act. I still have qualms with this 45 days because I just, if it's an anti-competitive thing, I just question the size that they're trading. That doesn't make sense to me. There has to be ethics issues in there. There has to be an abuse of power. And beyond that, there are problems with the Stock Act because remember, the people who enforce these rules are the SEC. You know who the SEC gets paid by? You know where their paychecks come from? The government. Are they real? Like, it's tough as a human. We're just asking this entire organization to bite the hand that feeds them. I just question of like, okay, are they really going to do what they're tasked to do when they're alleged, like they're supposed to be looking into the people who sign their paychecks? That has to be a weird situation. A second provision would require the Administrative Office of the U.S. Courts to create an online database of all judges' financial disclosures. The agency would be required to post the reports online within 90 days of receiving the information in a full text searchable, sortable, and downloadable format for access by the public. You notice how they start to do this? They're like, okay, they have to report it in 45 days, but then it doesn't have to be online, an online report for 90 days. So now we're talking about a 135-day delay. At that point, we're waiting half a year. It's borderline half a year if we just round up a little bit. So half a year later, we see what they're in when these cases could already be done, when whatever bills are already passed. It's such a lagging indication of what they are or aren't doing. And that's if they report it within that first 45 days. Unusual Whales, great account. Check him out on Twitter. They are continually pointing out how all these people commonly report after the 45-day deadline. So this is in like a best case scenario, the 45 plus the 90. If anything, it gets extended beyond that. It's crazy. It's sickening. And I think the reason it's gotten this bad is because, to me, this is one of the first times that such a large group of quote unquote average Joes have finally been looking into it. How have they been getting away with something so egregious, so horrendous? Because no one ever thought to ask the questions at such a large scale. I'm sure many people have pointed it out, and like it was more of like you're just yelling into the canyon and no one's there. But now, because of the whole GameStop saga in January, and now as it has also built up with AMC, there are many of these quote unquote average Joes who are asking themselves, whoa, that seems wrong. That seems wrong. That seems wrong. And we're all starting to point it out. And like, I think the writing's been on the wall, but it's the first time that we've literally had millions of people actively looking into this and saying, this seems like a lot of bullshit. All right, moving on. One of the also hot news, because I want to talk about a little bit of crypto right here. Tesla, previously in Bitcoin, not in Bitcoin. Well, it seems like they're back in it again. Electric vehicle company Tesla, helmed by CEO Elon Musk, I would say celebrity CEO Elon Musk, said that it may in the future restart the practice of transacting in cryptocurrencies. The disclosure came in September quarterly filing with the US SEC. So it sounds like Tesla back into the world of crypto. Just a little bit of an update there. The reason I want to bring it up is because crypto's still looking really good. Just so you know, congratulations if you're in SHIB. SHIB hit a new all-time high, and it's currently trading at 47. The all-time high is 48. We'll call it 60 right there. I think this just keeps trucking. We see a lot of momentum. We see a lot of enthusiasm. Huge gain in the past 24 hours. It seems to be up 11.5, 11.6%. Seriously, congratulations if you're in it. When it was way cheaper, I got $200 from Voyager. And I've been sitting on that. I've not added to my position. I'm up a healthy amount. I think it's fun. I just like seeing it go. It's very exciting. So seriously, congratulations if you're in SHIB. Bitcoin currently trading just 62.5 thousand. I was looking for the catch and the breakout right here at 63. It broke down, but then we got right back up to it. So the battle is at 63. Ethereum looking very good. Ethereum hanging out at 4,200. I think this is going to really make it go to that new all-time high at 44, 4,500, something like that. The Matic network, Polygon, making a move up to potentially $2. I like Matic. I like Polygon. It's the Matic network, just so everyone knows those aren't two distinct things. I like it. It's very intertwined with Ethereum, helping it scale, making the transaction feeds cheaper, allowing it to have more transactions. Very, very exciting stuff. Cardano also waking up. I'm looking for that to get above 225. Solana yesterday hit a new all-time high around 217, currently trading at 208. Crypto is alive and well, and there are some specialty ones such as SHIB, such as Matic, Solana yesterday that are ripping higher and higher and higher. Huge amount of gains. Another crypto related thing that a lot of people paid attention to yesterday was BKKT. So what's the deal with BKKT? Well, it's in the world of, I guess, finances, but it's a digital asset platform that kind of allows people to actually transact in crypto. Well, yesterday it was announced that they have a partnership with MasterCard. That's a huge deal. And not only are they kind of helping beef up their platform with crypto, but they also had another one with, I believe it was Fiserv, FISERV, another partnership with them to actually look into crypto loyalty points and crypto rewards. So BKKT, digital asset platform related to crypto, big partnerships with two different companies. And right now crypto itself is like really running. So it kind of makes sense, just so you know a little bit about BKKT. Nice fundamental developments, but also just the enthusiasm behind crypto. Obviously we have Tesla going right now, still at 122. My Fibonacci levels are up around 1,120. I'm not the biggest fib level guy. I think there is some credence to it, so I'll use it, especially when you're at a new all-time high. The other one that's making some waves this morning is PROG, PROG, Progenity. So I did tweet out earlier this morning. This is some of the news on it, just so everyone knows why PROG ended up making a move today. PROG cuts outstanding debt by $20.175 million through private exchange of its 7.25% convertible senior notes due 2025 for common stock. So that's the development right there. That's what's going on with PROG. That's why it had this crazy movement from basically $350 all the way up to $650. Currently trading at $4. It's up almost 20% in pre-market. Definitely many worthwhile watches today. We're talking Tesla, we're talking PROG, we're talking SHIB, we're talking BKKT. So many potential moves. And of course, that's not even getting into our moon stocks of AMC and GME. AMC currently trading at 36.71, GME currently trading at 173. Just to get you set up for the day, they've already borrowed 1.4 million shares against AMC. The short interest is 16.6%, I should say estimated, because that's what it is. Utilization is 84.2%, and the shares on loan, it's around 106 million. In terms of GME, they've already borrowed over $500,000 against it today. Short interest up above 12%, 12.05%. The utilization 36.8%, and the shares on loan once again back over 8 million. One thing I wanted to talk about today, because I was in a space call last night and I saw people confusing what utilization means. They're like, how are people still buying shares if the utilization specific to AMC is so high? First of all, not that high. It's high, but it's 84. But we've seen it also at 99 and 100. So 84, not that high. And also, utilization has zero, zilch, goose egg to do with shares that are available in terms of you buying. Utilization exclusively has to do with people who are attempting to short it. Remember what utilization is. It's the amount of shares on loan divided by the total loanable amount of shares. So it's X divided by Y. It has nothing to do with people who are currently willing to sell their shares for you to be a new owner or increase your ownership. Utilization, only think about how many shares. Technically, when you're at 100%, no more shares can go on loan. Utilization is a metric that exclusively matters to people attempting to loan out shares to theoretically go short. Has nothing to do with your ability to buy shares. Just to get that out there, I saw a lot of confusion in a space call of how are people still buying? And even that in itself, I think that's probably on me, maybe not being the most articulate when needing to explain this. So for example, AMC, let me show you guys this right here. AMC yesterday was 31 million. A lot of people questioning were well, how is that possible when I'm told that 80%, we own 80%? Well, please understand that 80% number came from early June. We are now in late October, July, August, September, October. That was 4 months ago. That was 16 weeks ago. A lot of things in the market can change in 16 weeks. And I'm not saying that to mean it's up or down. I'm just pointing out that was quite a while ago, and a lot of things can change in 16 weeks, just so we're all on the same page there. But also, let's take a stock that only has 100 shares. And let's say you own 99 of them, and there's one share that's being freely traded. Well, if that one share is traded many times throughout the day, someone buys it again, like they're buying, selling, and it's just being traded. Well, the volume can easily exceed the float, the outstanding shares. So right there with AMC, it traded 31 million yesterday. That means that in totality, someone bought 31 million shares and simultaneously someone sold 31 million shares. For anyone to be a buyer, that means there has to be a seller. For anyone to be a seller, that has to be a buyer. Every single buyer has a seller. Every single seller has a buyer. That's how a market on the most basic level actually works. And if we're not all on the same page of that, like just the axiom of the functionality of a market, I think that can prompt additional confusion. So whenever you see volume, right away you should think that's how many people bought, that's how many people sold. It's just transacting. For example, if I own a painting and I sell it to you, okay, that was one trade, and then you now own it. You could sell it to someone else, and then they own it, and then they could sell it to someone else. So in that scenario, there's 3 buyers, 3 sellers, but the volume, it's 3. It transacted 3 total times. So I think a lot of the confusion, and then people right away just start to scream about naked shorts and dark pools, and that's a conversation to be had, but exclusively looking at volume and utilization, that's not really going to be too indicative of anything in that realm of malfeasance. I think is the best way to really put it. Let's quickly, before the bell goes ding, ding, ding in 2 minutes, let's look at the technicals of AMC and GME. So yesterday, we found support at this bottom trend line, very much hoping that this once again holds today. The support's around 36. Would love the breakout of 37.70 and then a gap fill on AMC from the low of October 21st, which would be 38.80. That is definitely my short-term target on AMC, 38.80, with the major support being at 36. GME, I like that it found support just above 166. Would love to see it recapture 175. And then also GME from its low on October 21st, same date, we have the gap fill opportunity to 180 and 60 cents. Gap fill up to right there on GME. So same thing as AMC. That's my short-term target. I'm hoping both AMC and GME fill those gaps. I mean, I would hope that it happens right away out of the gate. I would be stoked. But just so everyone knows, that's what I am paying attention to in the very short term. And hang on, where are we seeing this? Okay, and just so you know, today is round 2 of the Citadel versus SEC lawsuit. I don't know where it is on the docket today. I already have it up. It starts at 9:30, but there could be a couple cases before it. So let me just check this out really quick. Hang on. What do we have here? Case. I just need to find it. Hang on. This is Mary Chambers versus DC. October 26th. This doesn't seem right. I thought it was going to be the exact same stream. Okay, I might have to track that down. We listened to the court case yesterday. Remember, Citadel Securities is suing the SEC over allegedly their complaint is that they should have never allowed the delimit order, which is just absolutely insane. But let me see if I can find that. And on top of it, let me check this out. Yeah, if someone in the Discord could send me the link of where that court case is starting, I would appreciate that. Just throw it in Matt Live questions. But let's get going. Ding, ding, ding. The casino is open. Best of luck to all. All right.
Moon gang. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of F's. Hello. Checking. Checking. 1, 2, 3.
Matt, I hope you caught the Penn State game this weekend. Longest game in FBS history. Sucks that we lost. What a game we are. Shout out Jason. Yeah, very disappointed, obviously, with the result of that game, but it was still crazy. 9 overtimes. It's still upsetting that Penn State lost to an unranked team, but congratulations to any Illinois fans out there. But hey, the case has been submitted. They will now go over arguments. So is it not a stream today then, C Pames? Did you get it on the FaZe Clan SPAC? I did not, just because like I don't really know much about their business model. I know FaZe is absurdly popular. I just don't know like how good their revenue is or anything like that. What is going on here today? Why is this lagging? Is little laggy today. Why is this happening? I haven't changed anything. Let me see if I could just fix one thing very quickly in the back end. It doesn't seem to really be, I don't know if this is occurring on Rumble or on Twitch. So if I, for whatever reason, get taken down on YouTube, just so everyone knows, my Twitch, Matt_Kohrs, and then on Rumble, it's just, if you search Matt Kohrs, you're gonna find it. Just so you guys know, if I'm down, I'm still gonna be somewhere. All right, PROG 372, Tesla, new all-time high. Oh man, I'm murdering this Tesla trade right now. Where am I at? I should probably get in some gains. I haven't looked at it yet. But Tesla, we got some crazy lotto calls start of the day yesterday, and then also the end of the day yesterday. The one is up 560%. The other one's up 181%. Wow. That is absolutely incredible. They expire this Friday, and they're just so expensive. So what I'm going to do, I am looking to capture my gains in just this early morning volatility. Basically, as soon as I see a little bit of weakness this morning, I'm going to lock in my gains, and then I'll be eyeing up a farther out expiration. Definitely eyeing up a further out expiration. SHIB looking good as well. AMC 3670, we would love for this to hold above 36, and remember 3880 is the gap fill I'm looking. And then GameStop basically 181, currently trading at 174.54. Unfortunately, GameStop just has very, very low volume these days, sub 100,000 in the first 3 minutes. I don't believe so, unless then by miracle they make their decision in one day. Usually takes months. Okay, I appreciate that update. I appreciate that. How do you stake SHIB on Voyager? I don't know if it's staked or if it's just being loaned there, but it's, I think you actually have to like opt out of it if you don't want it. I think it's like automatic. Okay, Yeezus, I heard no case today. Okay, so it sounds like we're not getting the update. I guess.
Oh, yay.
It sounds like they are. Sorry, that was the court case. I was just waiting to see what was happening there. It sounds as if they just have to go over the arguments, and we're going to be waiting for discussion. I should be able. I'll fire an email off to the IEX team and see if they could like just give us any insights on it, just so we can all, I don't know, just be a little bit more up to date, and I'll let you know if I get any like feedback from them on what is or isn't happening. All right, Tesla hit a new all-time high of 149 flat. Ooh, we got some of that weakness right now, but let's see what's it going to do here. Let me very quickly check out the overall markets for you. All right, SPY showing some strength, a little bit of strength right there. The Qs also green, IWM. So interesting. We're seeing the larger ones, the SPY and the Qs go green, but the Russell go down. And the Russell, remember, it's going to be attached to AMC, just because AMC is the biggest one within it. So it would be nice to see these kind of turn around simultaneously. It would be very, very nice. Hey, Matt, shouldn't we be trying to tune into the case so they see the amount of people watching and maybe feel more pressure to do the right thing? I mean, there is no case today, Edgar. And I don't think, I mean, that's the sign of a bad judge of like, they're going to do their best to like articulate it to the law, not based on like viewership. You definitely don't want our justice system based on popularity. Curious, why are you bullish on penny crypto but not penny stock? What's the difference? Because it actually has nothing really particularly to do with the price. It has more to do with the market cap. And if you look at market cap, SHIB is huge. I care about market cap because you could always change the supply, which changes the price. It all comes down to market cap, and SHIB is number 11. I care about basically the top 20 cryptos. It has nothing to do with the actual price. Most of these penny stocks, when you see it, it's because their market cap is pathetic. Don't be so myopically focused on the price of something because you could change it. You could do share splits, reverse splits. You could do whatever you want with it, but it really comes down to market cap. And most of the time when I'm talking about any of those things, it's much more related to the market cap. But if you find a penny stock, like it's most likely going to have a very, very small market cap. GME, awesome. Let's get the exact gap fill. 180.60 is what we're watching on GME. And hopefully the enthusiasm in GME comes over to AMC. I'm just a little bit worried about the lethargic nature of the Russell 2000 this morning. Let me see what's going on in the Russell. The Russell 2000. The question is, are we going to get that bounce? Oh, gap fill. Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. GME, just get that gap fill. 180.60. That's awesome. So from here, the next watch on GME is basically 188 to 190. All right, so that's the gap fill that I just marked out. AMC kind of following Jimmy's way this morning. Unfortunately, like I'm just, if this were more green, if the IWM were also, the Russell were also like very enthusiastic and green, that would just be less of a issue for AMC to consider right now. Come on, IWM. Let's get this bounce back. Love the gap fill on GME. This is exactly why we talk about gap fills, because in short-term trades, it could be easy money. I know a lot of you don't want to actively trade AMC or GME, but I'm saying the methodology could be applied to things such as Facebook. Look at this gap fill, 338. If this pushes above 330, that's a nice $8 gap fill. You could choose to play it various ways. You could do it just straight up with FB. You could play call options on it, like various ways. So once I see a bit more demand following through, I mean, that's a gap fill opportunity. So it's a lot of the methodology that you could apply in various aspects of the market. Ooh, IWM looking a bit weak. What you doing there? What you doing? AMC doing its best to fight even though the Russell's going down. What's going on with the SPY? The SPY taking a bit of a breather right now. The Q's taking less of a breather. Less of a breather. Okay, so Tesla, the way I'm playing Tesla right now is basically I'm watching 121. That's it. That's how I'm going to play it. I have call options. I'm a long-term investor in Tesla. Like in my long-term account, I have many shares sub $400, which is now obviously a crazy 150% gain. I'm talking about my short-term call options. That's my risk right there. I need to be agile. I don't want to swing in another day because they expired this Friday. Theta's too much. I would rather lock in my tendies and then get a farther dated one where I'm not battling theta so much. When I'm talking about weeklies, when I'm in that week of the weeklies, I really don't like swinging overnight because you need to gap up just to retain your same value. If you're right, you can make a lot of money. It's just the risk reward paradigm is not the most ideal. Implied volatility in AMC is crazy. My option showing green, even though AMC down. Could this be a sign of MOAS incoming? Nope, it's just a sign of volatility. Remember, volatility can go either direction. It could be a volatile move upward or a volatile move downward. High volatility is not an indication of a short squeeze. And I think I missed a lot of super chats from this morning. So hang on, let me track those down. I feel bad if I miss them. Here we go. Let me see what I missed this morning. Hang on, it just takes me a hot second. Love the apes. Matic is a hot topic. Take a look. MATX. Let me write this down. And what's PROG at? 383. PROG looking good right now. AMC looking good. GME did its gap fill. Would love to see that gap fill on AMC today. PROG, watch that. Looking kind of spicy. Okay, MATX. We did that. Yo, Matt, what do you think of a gap play on Snap? All right, Snap, writing that down. They reported, they really missed on their advertising revenue. PROG has not yet begun to run. News is now digested. Bullish. Shout out Wall Street Viking. Have you heard about Dogira? I have not. Gladly, I can listen to you and not that Lois lady from Twitter last night. Sorry if I had already missed your remarks, but what did you think about all that? I guess I would need a little bit more time, if I'm being completely frank, to digest my feelings. I'm of the opinion that we have to do something different. Albert Einstein, I believe, said it first, that if you continue to do the same thing and expect a different result, that's the definition of insanity. I'm not saying I'm necessarily in alignment with some of the other people of like their idea of what we should be doing next. I just know we need a little bit of a change. Like we got to go it with a different tactic. I think it's a smart idea to get legislation rocking, to get someone to sponsor bills that we are supportive of. To me, that's a very logical step. But I think I need to, I don't know, ponder it a bit more and really gather my thoughts, because I think when the community is so large, I mean, everyone has an idea of what should or shouldn't be done. There's no way we're going to get millions of people to all agree like idea X is the best way to move forward. So to me, it's a question of, okay, what are a majority of people going to think the best move is? Safe Moon is definitely next. I like it more every day. You gain coins just by holding. Well, that's a lot of crypto, Quinn. But for me, I'm not the biggest Safe Moon fan. I'm not against it. If you're in it, I hope you crush it. I just have none, and I don't have plans on getting any. And the word of the great Ice Cube, everything corrupt. Facts. Okay, MRK, shout out. Let me do this. MRK, got that. Mitchell, why haven't they released the shareholder account since June? That makes a difference to a point. They just haven't done another count. Like a company decides when they want to do a count. It's not in a release thing. They just haven't run one. So we just got to wait on that. I didn't get in on phase. All right, I think I got caught up with all the ones that I unfortunately missed. Let me go back. We are good. We are good. Tesla, hopefully going into a new all-time high. I'm at the point where if it breaks 150, I'll probably just do some sort of like mental trailing stop of like, I'll try to ride it in a little bit of weakness. If it goes to a certain degree or dollar value, I'm just going to lock in all, like I'm in a crazy amount of percentage profit right now. It wasn't my biggest bet ever. Of course, when you see something like that, you're like, man, if only I bet everything I own, I would be this rich right now. But it never turns out that way. It never, ever turns out that way. But I'm happy with it. It actually gives me the profit to play a more reasonable call option for farther out. Unusual Whales tweet, GameStop NFT confirmed. That's exciting. That's probably what got that news, is probably what got us to pop to a new all-time high. Nvidia looks like it is also at a new all-time high. Snap exec says the company will work with policymakers to help protect miners online. Breaking, GME enters metaverse with Web 3.0 job posting. NFTs confirmed. Metaverse with Web 3.0 job posting. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't know if that actually like directly means NFTs confirmed. Like they have a job posting. but that's still exciting. I think a lot of people are going to interpret the news that way, and that's probably what leads to the enthusiasm in the stock. I would like to see the job get filled, and I would like to see that actually come out with NFTs, but obviously it's a step in the right direction. So exciting stuff. Exciting, but still a job posting. Man, Tesla running. I just need to check. We're up 564%, 210%. Crazy. All right, AMC 3660 had the excitement up to 37. Let's see if it can hold. Kind of little range bound. Is it the Russell? Yeah, the Russell's being super indecisive. It's sold off and now it's just range bound. So what we're going to be watching is to see which way the Russell actually breaks. Is it going to break below 228.74 or above 229.12? We just need to be patient on the Russell right now. I'm assuming with Tesla going up, Qs have to be looking good. They definitely are looking good, up 0.85% already on the day. But currently, the most recent minute bar on the SPY and the Q is getting hit a little bit. DWAC getting smoked, someone said. That break below 88 yesterday, I didn't like that too much. Honestly, DWAC is becoming a nice short-term play, probably for that gap fill down to 52, something to consider. I currently do not have that play on because I have no free capital, but if I do put that play on, I'll let you know. How's PHUN? So PHUN probably going the same way as DWAC, if I had to guess right now. DWAC, yeah. I mean, DWAC, we know there's a gap fill opportunity to 52. Put your politics and your enthusiasm aside. Sometimes a good trade's a good trade. You have to ask yourself where are you going to put your risk? That's to whoever you are as a trader of what you want to do. Do you want to straight up short it? Do you want to get puts? Do you want to sell calls? Like, there's various things you could do to benefit off of it. But obviously there is some weakness in DWAC. And we know that there's that gap fill opportunity to 52. So if you want, even if you like it long term, you could play the gap fill and then use that as your support and try to play both ways. If you're an agile trader, like, that is more difficult, but you can play things both ways. You don't have to be like a perma bull or a perma bear. You can say, hey, this is opportunity. Can you take a look at Xcla on the 4-hour chart and give me your thoughts? Xcla, I know that had a very nice breakout yesterday. Looks like it's given back some of those gains today. So kind of a weird pump. I don't like that it gapped down. I want to see this hold successfully above 215. Until then, I would not be bullish on it until it can prove itself above 215. PHUN looks like it's seriously selling off. I see. So this one, another gap fill play right there, 192. I think they completed some, what was it? I see people talking about a dilution or something like that. It shoots up and now it's kind of like, it's like you threw a ball in the air. You see the weight to it. This like actively has weight. And the real tell here is that it broke below the low of this gap on the 22nd, below 552. If it cannot quickly recapture 552, I would actively be looking for a gap fill off of 192. Can you look at Penn? AMC just hit a new intraday low at 36.45. Penn, I like Penn. I think Penn, DraftKings, I'm bullish on that entire industry. I think I'm a fan of them in a long-term sense. I don't really actively trade them. They don't have the craziest moves, but I'm just very bullish on the online sports betting and gambling in general. So Penn has also physical locations as in casinos, but then they also have equity stake in Barstool, which is rolling out Barstool books to more and more states, the way DraftKings is getting into more and more states. So Penn, DraftKings, I'm just bullish on this industry. I recently announced when I got into DraftKings and my average was around 47, 48. I got in back here in late September, but once again, that's a long-term hold. The most recent news with DraftKings, and also relates to Penn, is that they're kind of getting going in, I believe, New Hampshire for sports betting. As more and more states legalize it, I just don't see how it's a losing play. People love betting. People love sports. People love betting on sports. To me, it seems like a no-brainer. It really, really does. Shout out to my fellow SHIB holders, Matt. I recommend a movie called The Hummingbird Project, all about latency and high-frequency trading. Joe Prime, I will write that down. The Hummingbird Project. I thought honestly that was about like a painting and like the room exploded and it had that guy from Baby Driver. Hummingbird Project. All right, thank you. Shout out Joe Prime. ATER currently trading at 687. ATER is interesting to me if it can get above 915. ATER looks pretty weak right now. I would call out the next level of support being 532. I don't see much catching it when it didn't catch itself at $8. All right, Tesla new all-time high at 164. AMC coming to its support at 36. Very much hope that AMC holds on to 36. I think there could be, if it goes below 36, especially to more of a noteworthy degree, I think that could prompt some people who are scared, maybe like some weaker hand situations, getting scared. So just for their like emotional state, I hope this does not happen. And the equivalent level on GME would be 165. But on a positive note, I suppose that my Tesla gains currently happening now allow me to buy AMC and GME at a nice discount. So that's also pretty sweet. Hey, look at the glass as, whoa. Pelosi is crushing it on NVIDIA. Our girl Pelosi right here. This is Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's insider moves. NVIDIA. Maybe you see a pattern there, but she owns NVIDIA stock. She owns NVIDIA option. She owns NVIDIA option. She owns NVIDIA options. She owns NVIDIA options. She owns NVIDIA options. Imagine how much money she is up right now. This girl loaded into NVIDIA options, and she just rolled this thing to the absolute moon. She is killing it. This is ridiculous. Watch it. This will just keep going. Just look for the news of, I don't know, like NVIDIA winning a government contract or something, and then that sends it to like 300. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't mind it, honestly, because I'm in NVIDIA. That's another part of my long-term account. Like I'm in NVIDIA. I believe in the company. I think they're the gold standard for processing chips. So for me, the higher it goes, I just think it's funny that she has no official stock market education, and I assume she's pretty busy being the Speaker of the House, but yet she always finds time to make one of the most absurd trades ever. Let's look at some of her other trades. NVIDIA, work is weird. It really is. Work is like a Thai-based like cinema company. I wondered how she has any insight into that. Oh, I guess they got out. They're like, they didn't want that anymore. But they're also in on Google, which could be interesting because Google reports after the market closes today. So if Google beats and runs, just understand that she's making millions and millions more. Millions and millions more. PROG, the gap up, come down. You guys know I'm not the biggest fan of that setup. When it gaps up and then sells off for a quick gap fill, usually not the strongest pattern. If we're here talking about patterns. All right, let's see if AMC can actually get its bounce going. PROG on an intraday basis looking a bit weak, but please understand it is still up 8% on the day. So intraday not necessarily indicative of where it's at on the day because of the gap up. Let's check out IWM. Is this okay? We're getting a little bit of some movement. Little bit. Hopefully going to be helping out with AMC. IWM, you definitely want that to go upwards. Tesla, folks. It is crushing it. To everyone in the Discord, I know a lot of you swung Tesla overnight with me. Congratulations. I don't know, take your kids or your significant others out for a nice dinner this weekend. Luz, I think is your name. Thank you for becoming an astronaut. I appreciate that. Shout out. Okay, I'm curious. Let me know in a comment. Are you guys in Tesla? Let me know in a comment. Are you in Tesla options? Are you in Tesla stock? Do you not give a crap about Tesla? Do you wish you were in Tesla, but it's just expensive, so you don't have it right now? Matt, Voyager does not work in New York. That is correct. So Voyager is a crypto brokerage. It works in all states except for New York. So it works in 49 states. You can download it, and then you just put in that code MAT21, MAT21, and you will get an extra $25 of Bitcoin after you trade $100 of any crypto. I like it. I think it has one of the best user interfaces, one of the best user experiences, UI, UX. In my opinion, a better UI, UX than Coinbase and Gemini. But with that being said, I still do like Coinbase. I still do like Gemini. I use all three. I just use them for different reasons. So if you are a fan of crypto, or if you want to get like SHIB right now, or Matic right now, or Bitcoin right now, or Ethereum right now, or just any of this craziness right now, because things in crypto are very, very hot, should be easy for you to download, or you could check out Coinbase or whatever. There's various options. I'm on Voyager, Coinbase, Gemini. Other good ones that I'm not on: Binance, Kraken, KuCoin. People talk about Uphold. People talk about Gate.io. Those are all ones that I hear a lot, just if you want to have various options. All right, I think I am successfully up to date there. What do we have? I listened to the call entirely too long. Any thoughts on those who got caught PDT trading or swing trading commodities or other security types that are excluded from? Wait, caught on PDT. Dave, I'm a little confused. How'd you get... So, like, when you trade futures or something like that, that shouldn't be a knock against you. How was caught on PDT? How'd you get caught when you're trading things that don't have PDT rules? I'm a little confused. IWM looks like it is also coming back around a little bit. I think it keeps going, in my humble opinion. Bullish. Why not? Tesla, another new all-time high. I need a bell or a ding 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 or something. Every time Elon gets another billion in his net worth, we have to celebrate in some way. Just another cool bill. All right, let's see what else we have. PHUN, all right, trying to catch itself. DWAC also trying to catch itself. Maybe it could recapture 82. That was the level I was watching there. The longer it stays under 82, the worse it is for it. ATR, you want to catch 915. ANY 670 is kind of the level you want it above. Just below it right now, 665. Tesla 176. PROG looking weak on the intraday, but still up 6%. Maybe it could catch itself right here around 350 and make a trip back up to 4. I think it hit 650 in pre-market, which is pretty impressive. Ethereum just below 4,200. Solana 206. Matic $1.80. Matic on that nice move. And SHIB, not that far away. It looks like it's gearing up for something. Look for SHIB to get out of 47.50, and then I think we're just going to end up seeing a test of the all-time high. Is DDOG a good buy? DDOG. Datadog. I think it's a bit chasey. I mean, you're buying it, literally hit an all-time high today. So even if you like the company, you need a bit more patience, I would say. Thoughts on DWAC? The longer it stays below 82, the worse it is. And then you have to consider the gap fill down to 52. Thanks for what you do every day, Matt. Can you please take a look at Genus? Shout out. Matt's the Diamond Balls. Genus. So whenever it has a crazy day like yesterday, it's some sort of an like announcement. So I would just want to look into it and see what happened, because on a technical basis for today, you have an inside day, which means there's no trend. Like it's hard to like understand like what way is it continuing up or is it showing weakness? You just don't know. And an inside day is exactly that, where the high and the low are completely encapsulated in the previous day's bar. So right here, Genus, it did something yesterday, seems to be somewhat of a fundamental driver. I personally would want to know exactly what happened. BRPM. Whenever it comes to oh wait, I don't even know what that one is, Anthony. But just in more of a general sense, whenever it comes to a SPAC, you're going to want to know who they're looking to acquire, or who they're most likely going to end up acquiring. It's really not the SPAC itself. It's saying, okay, how interesting is the business that they're going to try to buy completely, or at least get a nice, healthy equity stake within. The CEO of PHUN promised no stock offering, and looked what happened. So I know that there was a stock offering. I didn't know that he promised it wouldn't be happening. So that seems pretty crazy. What time is the hearing part 2 today? Nathan, that's a good question. I do not believe that there is a hearing today. I thought there was, but I guess they have to take the time to consider the arguments, which makes sense. BRPM. Am I getting this wrong? BRPM. Oh, B. Riley Merger Corp. This is the one that I think is going to get switched over to FaZe for the FaZe Clan, the B. Riley one. So this is all excitement behind FaZe Clan. It's just, if you like this or not, you have to look into the numbers associated with FaZe Clan. I know they're a well-known brand. I think it went from just like kind of crazy like kill shots on YouTube to now a $300 million business, which is pretty crazy. And I think they're going to be converting the ticker from BRPM to FAZE in early 2022, when the merger is like completely like decided and everyone signs on the dotted line. But in terms of, is it a good investment as in a longer term thing? Well, you have to kind of do your DD on the company, the growth, like do they have impressive numbers? In terms of a short term trade, it becomes difficult because you only have 2 day bars. I mean, I guess you could do some intraday stuff and be like, okay, I see the swing back around. You could risk 14, you can risk 13.25. So that's kind of up to you of the time frame of what you want to do. I'm not too sure if you're asking about long term, medium term, short term. They're all valid trading methodologies. Guy on the mic. Guy on the space call last night was unbearable. Couldn't do it. Who bought PROG at 6 retail given low volume? Number one, guy on the mic, guy on space call last night. I'm not too sure who you're referring to. Number 2, who bought PROG at 6 given retail the low volume? I mean, pre-market trading almost always has low volume. It's kind of rare to have high volume. Can you look at XPEV cup in hand on the daily, weekly? XPEV had a great day yesterday, and there was a lot of options bets on it. A lot of options bets on XPEV. Looks like it's getting a nice technical breakout. I would look for the continuation on XPEV up to 51.36, and then from there I'd be watching 60. XPEV, another EV play. Obviously EV is hot right now. Tesla leading the way, oil sky high, the technology improving. Lots of interesting things. It makes sense to me that a lot of EVs are looking good. NEO above 42. Lucid looking for its breakout at 28. EV is a hot sector right now. Money to be made. All right, DWAC. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some of you are going to get upset if you're a bag holder on DWAC, but to me, I think a realistic play is the gap fill at 52. Gap fill at 52 if it cannot recapture 82. So that's how I would think about it, like kind of my if then conditional statement. If it cannot recapture 82, I'd be looking at first for a breakout of 68, and from there a flush to 52. What's your opinion on Mark? Looks like it was just started going again. I don't really like I'm such a technical trader that when I have such a lack of information, I usually stay away from it until there's more data, as in more candle charts, so I can like make a better assumption or a better idea, have a better idea of what's going on. This seems to actively been trading for 2.1 days now. So I would just wait. I just wouldn't even mess with it. But that's just me. Maybe you like the company of where it's going and you just want to invest in it now. That's completely different. But when I don't know about the company, I'm not going to mess around when I have like just minimal data to go off of. Can we discuss how Ticketmaster is the Citadel and Virtue of sporting event industry, such a scam, working my straw off to get these Braves tickets done? What's going on, Trey Subway Cup? Trey Subway Cup, are you still having that problem where it never lets you repeat a super chat? Like, I notice you always have to send in a weird value. Or are you still having that technical issue? Dude, the thumbnails just keep getting better and better. Goodness, have a great day. I appreciate that. I love these thumbnails. It brings me so much joy. Like, I get giddy when I know I'm posting them. It's so fun, especially with the Halloween season right now, the fall season. So we have, for the remainder of the week, we obviously have a lot of spooky Halloween ones planned. And then we have all these great like fall Thanksgiving ones for November. And then we have a bunch of like holiday ones for December. It's going to be fun. I mean, and like it's just, you got to be, I don't know, proud of your work. You got to put in effort. I think people consciously, subconsciously recognize who puts in effort and who doesn't put in effort. And it's just like a little thing I do to, I guess, express the seriousness at which I attack this career, because I want to be proud of all aspects of the things that I put out. Why would I not want to be? That would be crazy. That would be crazy. With EV running, how do you feel about LICY? LICY. Holdings. Another EV one that looks like it's trying to break out. If it can hold this level, you're talking maybe 1350, but more specifically 14. But it just seems like the EV sector right now, it's almost hard to find an EV that's not up over the past like 2 weeks. Can you explain how to play the gap fill on DWAC? There's various ways to do it. DWAC. So one obvious way is to short it. Your brokerage might not allow you to short it. So if you don't want to short it, you can get puts. You can buy puts. You can go long on puts. You can sell covered. You could sell calls. You could sell covered calls. You could do a credit spread. You could do a credit spread of calls. You could do a debit spread of puts. So long on puts, a debit spread of puts, short on calls, credit spread on calls, or you could straight up short it. Or if you don't think it's going to gap fill to 52, you could just avoid the risk and maybe try to re-enter at 52. But when you have an idea of a direction, there is a myriad of ways that you could capitalize on it. Would you buy crypto on public? I don't know. I haven't, but like I see no reason to. I like public. I actively own like tens of thousands of dollars of stock on public. I like it for stocks. It doesn't have options trading. It just rolled out crypto. But my crypto is on Voyager. My crypto's on Coinbase. My crypto is on Gemini. I don't think public functions as a wallet. I would have to like double check. So don't quote me on that one. But if it doesn't function as a wallet, I'm not going to ever get crypto there. That's exactly why when I figured out that Robinhood and Webull do not function as crypto wallets, I never ever bought crypto on them, because one of the biggest things about crypto is actually having ownership, and that is problematic when you don't have a wallet, because it means you don't have true ownership. You have a very fancy IOU from the brokers that's like, yeah, we'll spot you at that price, but you can't transfer crypto out to another wallet if you ever like want to, and I personally find that to be problematic. Upon switching to IEX via Fidelity makes a difference if you're just holding shares. It doesn't guarantee exact price execution upon sale, right? So you don't switch to IEX. You switch to Fidelity, and then you're allowed to route to IEX. IEX is a venue. It's a lit exchange. You would have the opportunity to trade there at Fidelity and Interactive Brokers. I think E-Trade. I think TD Ameritrade. It's just a lit exchange. The way it's comparable to the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. It's just another exchange. So your shares are held at a brokerage. People have this idea that shares are held at an exchange or at a market maker or a dark pool, shares are never held there. That's a venue. That's where a buyer and a seller meet each other and transact, but they sit in your brokerage. Venues, as in lit exchanges, dark pools, and these retail wholesalers, the market makers, that's just a venue. It's a venue. A venue is where a buyer and a seller meet each other, they transact, but the shares live in your brokerage. Just to get a couple like clarifications out there. And it doesn't exact price execution upon sale. I mean, it can. It depends what kind of order you're doing. Are you doing a market sale? You could do a limit sale. Once again, IEX and Fidelity, it's an exchange and it's a venue. So in terms of your exact price, it depends on your order type. What time is the court hearing today? To my understanding, there is no court hearing today. I believe that the judges presiding over the case are kind of like reviewing the arguments. Does Fidelity automatically route to exchanges, or is that something that has to be set up? It does not automatically route. If you do not set up Fidelity properly, most of their orders go to Citadel Securities. That's why you have to route. That's why I think Public's a bit easier, because Public, we know, is not sending it to market makers. That's like, you can see it in their verbiage and their documents. We do not use any market makers. That's what they say. So that's why I think Public's maybe a little bit easier. On Fidelity, if you're not picking your route, it's most likely, from a statistical standpoint, still going directly to Citadel Securities. But if you do route it, well, it's going to go to wherever you route it then. Best state to be an investor in? Probably South Dakota, judging from the Pandora Papers. Or if you're talking about territories, Puerto Rico. Neither of those have capital gains tax. Hedge fund that bet against GameStop shuts down White Square move marks one of the first closures of fund hit by surges in so-called meme stocks. White Square was closed like months ago, Sally. That's not like breaking news about White Square. You can't send normal dollar super chats, so I send odd amounts like 741 in honor of GME and Ryan Cohen, and only change the send on a desktop. Very weird. I don't know why people are having like those various issues. I appreciate that though, Trey Subway Cup. Can you look at METX? Okay, let me get to the list that people have asked about. METX, it's a gap up. Like, I don't chase a gap up, especially a penny stock gap up. The market cap on this is 39 mil, so it's a very low float, cheap company. It's just not my style. If you're in it, I wish you the best of luck. But chasing a gap up, I've just seen it end poorly way too many times. MATX. Matson. Hey, I like the swing back around. I like the breakout above 84. The risk isn't too bad at 82. A $4 risk with a $8 upside. I would want to know what they do. Marine shipping. Interesting. Good looking chart. I like the technical strength. I would just want to look a little bit more into the company, but I like the risk reward. MRK, Merck. This is kind of, I believe, a COVID play now. They have the pill for like an anti-COVID pill. So showing some strength there. Oh, speaking of COVID, I forgot to announce that Moderna, they got approved for use in the 6-year-old to 11-year-old like subgroup for their shots, or some variation of their shots, just so everyone knows. Merck also looking strong. The better buy would have been here at 69, but that's not too far away. You're risking 77. And then Snap, which got destroyed last week. It is a gap fill opportunity, but before you play that, you would actually want to see some strength, and more particularly, you would want to probably see a breakout of 61 if you're okay with risking 54 at the current setup. Just when I see a gap, that doesn't mean I'm playing the gap right away. I need to see some momentum in favor of filling that gap. Can you explain offerings? PHUN at $5 is having talks of offerings at $8.74. Yeah, as in they're selling stock to someone who wants equity in the company at that price. So like that's the set price, and then they'll tell you how many shares they're selling. So it's basically a capital raise. We've seen AMC do it. We've seen GME do it. It's just a way to raise money and then use that money in your war chest to hopefully improve the business. How do you feel about AGC and the merger supposedly this quarter? I have not heard about the AGC merger. And it seems to be, I mean, I guess the market is obviously very enthusiastic about it. Looks like a SPAC that's trying to go through. It's up 40% from the $10 value, trading at $13.84. I don't know the odds of the merger going through or not. SPAC plays kind of fell out of favor. They were really, really hot in 2020. And then for the first half of this year, the first 3 quarters of this year, no one really cared about them. But now with WeWork, with DWAC, there seems to be like a reinvigorated enthusiasm for the world of SPAC plays. IWM, like I said, long and strong, crushing it. Happy about this play thus far. I just locked in some of mine from my announcement this morning. What did I lock in? I locked in a nice $300, so I'm happy with that. Hey, easy peasy lemon squeezies. Bigger time frame, I was bullish. Shorter time frame, smaller time frame, I should say, I saw some weakness. I like that mismatch. When I have a medium to long term and then the short term is the opposite, to me that represents an opportunity. Speaking of opportunity, this is the first real weakness I'm seeing in Tesla. So I'm going to sell some at least. Had a huge gain. So that was hundreds of percent. And then the other one I have, I'm up 900% right now. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. Do I want to lock these all in? Yeah, I'm going to lock it all in. And then if I see it start to spin back around, I'll probably use the tendies to get a more appropriate call option. But just to be explicitly clear, I mean, that like I gained over 1,000% on Tesla within just over 24 hours. So I am completely out of Tesla in my short term. I still have my long-term Tesla investment. Of course, I do that and it pops. But mine expired for this Friday just because the ones for the next week are super expensive. So I didn't have much capital to play with. So waiting. It looks like in terms of my active plays that I like watch day in and day out of like that I might get in and out of. I just closed all my Tesla. Yesterday I closed my Dwac to get Tesla, which was clearly a nice profitable trade. And I have one more futures contract on the Russell. I've locked in all the other ones. I have one more runner on the Russell looking for that to go up. Best Tesla trader on this side of the Mississippi. I mean, you can see the volatility is drying up. I'd prefer just to come back in the afternoon. I just don't want to get caught in like a drop back down to like 1,050. But just to be clear, like I alluded to this morning, if you look at the fib levels, honestly, the next resistance is 1,125, which is another $50 move from where we're at right now. The only reason I'm out right now, it's if I had stock, actively trading stock, I would still hold. It's just, you have to consider the nature of options. Even if the price is good, but volatility dies, that hurts your options. I think a lot of people, when they think of options, they exclusively think of the price. So for example, even though the price was essentially 175 for the past 15 minutes, the price didn't change, but because it wasn't changing and we stayed there, the option became less and less valuable because theta was eating you alive. So it was more the mechanics behind options of why I had to lock this in and not my opinion on the price. This is a very good price. I think it could keep going. I just didn't want to get beat up by volatility or theta. I hope that makes sense. If there's any questions, like let me know, because I think that's an easy concept or an important concept that can be complicated. So if people, like if you have questions, please do not hesitate. It's very important. Thanks for getting great DD, helping the community. How do you feel about the MBIS rebound? MBIS rebound. Hey, it's strong and the risk reward isn't too bad. It's a little bit of catching a falling knife, but if you're okay with risking 90 cents opportunity, like it's a low risk. Like I said, a little bit of catching a falling knife because honestly, it's done since June 10th is sell off, but the risk is minimal as long as you like keep to your plan. Can I check the Ortex on BRPM? It won't be updated yet. Matt sells Tesla. Wow, folks, Tesla reaches an epic all-time high. Just my luck. If it gets going, I'll now be able to take the money just to get a farther out. I am not the biggest fan of playing weeklies. It just so happens that Tesla's so incredibly expensive. You have to have quite a bit of money. So just to clarify, if you had Tesla shares and not options, you would have held. Yes. I have long-term Tesla that I'm just always going to hold. But even if I was like a short-term like swing trader on Tesla right now, I would still hold. The only reason I had to lock in was just because I had options. All right, AMC, once again, finding demand in the low 36s. That is good. We definitely don't want that breakdown of 36. And at GME, trying to hold 175, definitely a fan of that. Dwac. I'm going to try a little bit of very, very small Dwac put play. Because I just think that gap fill is, to me, it's kind of obvious. And honestly, these are not that expensive. Because, they're both to November 19th. Okay, I have some DWAC just to see what I'm gonna do for what's my trading plan on DWAC. I'm risking 82. If we go are you kidding me, Tesla? Why do we do this? Time and time again, Tesla messes with me. Anywho, on DWAC, 82 is my risk. If it goes above 82, I cut my position. I made a wrong call. What I'm looking for is the gap fill down to 52. And honestly, at 52, I think it might be able to be played the other way. So that's like, you don't have to know what's going to happen on DWAC. I just told you my entire trading plan. I just got some puts. They expire mid-November. My risk is currently 82. I'll let you know if that changes. My profit target of where I want to lock it in is that gap fill at 52. Matt, I'm plus 100% on 3 OCGN options up 1K. Is it a good time to sell because the volatility may slow, or keep chugging along? What do you think on OCGN? It's much more dependent on your... I mean, it's looking good, but I don't know your expiration date. That's what you're considering. You should consider if it expires this week or next week. But if you have more time than that, you don't have to be too worried about theta. Right now, the volatility still seems pretty decent and almost got this breakout of 13. Sama, can you please stop spamming about Cardano? Let's see what's going on with Cardano. Cardano's still at 215. It hasn't moved. It's still holding the low twos. SHIB got smacked at 48.60. Tesla, why are you doing this to me? We talked about this. Here we go. Matt getting emotional, making a dumb Tesla trade just because he can't stick to his plan whenever it involves Tesla. You're witnessing it, folks. You're witnessing a bad trade. Tesla, why'd you do this to me? Tesla, this is Tesla's fault. Why are they so expensive? You can't buy anything on Tesla these days. These are comically expensive. I might not be able to buy one. Like, that's how expensive Tesla calls are. Profits never hurt anyone. How's PROG doing? PROG 354. Would like to see it kind of push back up to that $4 area. I'm going to wait on Tesla. I don't want to be the old Matt. I don't want to be the Matt who's suckered in. I'm going to be a bit more patient. And with me being a bit more patient, I wouldn't be surprised if it rips for the remainder of the day, just as a kind of a FU to me. But I haven't done anything yet. I'll let you know. IWM looking good. Actually, my final price target was like just up here. Maybe I should move this up a little bit because I actually do really like how it looks. So no Tesla. We got that Dwac gap fill play going on. I just think it's obvious to me. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. But I'm risking 82 just to be explicitly clear. Explicitly clear. Tommy's touch. Shout out to me and all my losses today. I'm sorry, Tommy. Sorry, what's your strike price for your puts on Dwac? I just played the closest to the gap fill. I looked at the I think the 50s or the 55s, whatever it is. You're ducking awesome. Any thoughts on any crypto running, but no love for any locked in Tesla? Huzzah. Shout out. I think honestly the best way for me to not fall into my trap on Tesla is to not look at it. If I out of sight, out of mind, I won't make a dumb trade. I could always come back another day. All right, Dwac, very like, this is obviously opinionated. I am not a financial advisor. I am not a lawyer. You have to do what's best for you. I'm just saying if it breaks below the support of October 22nd, this low of 67.96, what's going to catch it? What catches it? This is an untested zone. Like, look at this. We have an untested zone all the way to 52. You can see it better on the daily right here. Look at nothing has traded in here in normal market hours. It's just unknown supply. It's unknown demand. That's, to me, if it closes below the October 22nd low, that shows some short-term weakness to me. Is this me betting against it? Is this some political stance? No. This is a money-making opportunity. I've expressed this thought various times. Do not let your political opinions get in the way of a money-making opportunity. Ryan Moore, thank you. Posture check. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I just need to clarify that. Do not let your political opinions ever somehow influence your, I guess, money-making decisions. I've known people that just because they so staunchly believe in it, if you have an opinion and you're like, I want to bet against or I want to bet on, maybe you should just take a step back and not take the trade. For me, it's not political. This is technical. I'm like, oh, that looks weak. Time to play a gap fill. All right, I see people still talking about PROG. 350 coming back. So PROG, look for it to recapture $3.70 and then maybe move up to $4. Geo EV could follow Tesla. EV and Wall Street Bets mentions. Yeah, I think the most likely ones to follow it are Neo and Lucid. They're just kind of like two of the other biggest EV automakers, like in terms of a sympathy play. So that's kind of what I would be watching. But I think anything related to EV, even upstream, downstream, I think they're all going to get that lift. That the whole... if SHIB hits 1 cent, I'll make 40K. It's not going to hit 1 cent until they do more trading or burning, excuse me. They need to burn more coin right now. I don't know if this ever updated. 394 trillion. This might not be an updated supply because I know that burning already started, but you definitely need less circulating supply to make 1 cent, 10 cent, a cent, or 1 cent, 10 cent, or $1 possible. Even 1 cent, you need a considerable amount of burning. BKKT down 12% right now. Couldn't hold, but still up over the past 2 days. How's the SPY looking? SPY, ding, ding, ding. New all-time high. 458.50. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Both SPY and UVXY are moving solidly green. What does that mean? So they commonly move inversely, but they don't have to, because remember, UVXY is a leverage bet on the volatility of the S&P 500. Things can move in a volatile manner, both up or down. But most of the time the volatility spikes when something's selling off. It doesn't have to, and that's why most of the time they're inversely related, but sometimes there are obvious counterexamples. Is there any reason why we shouldn't be routing our orders to IEX at this point? I don't see a reason, but maybe there's other people out there who have like more of a staunch opinion. I just happen to be a fan of IEX, and I have been a fan since I first read their book in 2017. It's called Flash Boys. It's by Michael Lewis. It's one of the best finance books, I think, out there. And it particularly relates to the world we're all discussing right now of high frequency trading, abuse of market makers, abuse of market structure. It's a great book. I read it in 2017. So when I was reading that, I was like, oh, this is a cool book. And 2017 is probably where I went from like casually trading, like every other day, to becoming obsessed with trading. And I went on this tear. Actually, all the books over here, I just have a bunch of trading books, and I have a stack of books. That's how I got going. And it's weird because I'm not a reader. You know how growing up, we all, maybe you're that person, but we all knew that person who like, they're just like, oh, I read like 100 books every year all the way up until like 8th grade. Like heavy readers. That's not me. I'm not a big reader. I wish I was. I think I'd be more articulate. I'd probably know better words. I probably wouldn't fumble through things as much. But after I got out of college, I had more time, and I read so many different finance books, anything I could get my hand on, just crazy stories, tax stories, algorithmic books, just anything that related to finance and the markets. I probably read that book in 2017, 2018. And I think that helped a lot. That gave me a lot of core knowledge. I mean, there's books on dark pools out there. Like a lot of people, they still get weird about like my commentary on dark pools. And it's like, well, I don't know. I've read books written by experts, and then I've talked to those experts, and I feel like I end up getting in debates about dark pools with people who like read one shitty Reddit post. It seems a bit weird to me, but regardless, whatever aspect you want to learn about in finance, there's probably an expert who's already written a book in that area that you could either find the PDF or spend like $10 on Amazon and get it and read the hard copy when you have some free time. What do I have right here? Here, I have a couple books right here. Let me see what these ones are. All right. So first up is Lucifer's Banker. This is the guy who is the whistleblower on how Swiss banks work. And he, at that time, he got put in jail for like 36 months, something like that. But when he came out, all these people who were avoiding taxes, if you help find those people, you get a percentage. He ended up getting like over $100 million in the money he got returned to the U.S. government. Black Edge, this is all about Steve Cohen, the guy from Point 72. He also ran SAC Capital. He's a one bad hombre. He's currently the owner of the Mets. He's also one of the guys who bailed out Melvin Capital. But this book is all about how all of the people who worked at his company, they were paying off experts. These experts, especially in the biotech world, were the people who were deciding upon like FDA approval or denial, and they were getting like trading on that insider information. But of course, he got away pretty much scot-free. Jordan Peterson, that's more of a psychology book. The War on Small Business, this is by Carol Roth. After I read the Flash Boys book, I went on like a thing where I just read all of Michael Lewis's books. This was the Undoing Project. It's kind of cool. I noticed that when I got through a lot of the finance ones, the ones I really started to dive into were more psychology, because it became very, very evident to me that anyone can learn just the hardcore facts and the mechanics of trading, and how to do this fundamental breakdown, how to read this technical chart, how to understand this option chains. Anyone can get to that level. If you're watching right now and any of that part of the market confuses you, if like the numbers and the rhetoric, trust me, just give yourself some time. There is a learning curve, but I think anyone on this planet, if you have the ability to click on this YouTube video and watch this stream, you also have the ability, given enough time, to understand all that stuff. Unfortunately, understanding all of that stuff doesn't mean you're going to be a good trader. I would honestly argue, I always explain it this way, that's about 20% of the battle. 10% of the battle is just pure luck. Did you happen to get into a stock right before it came out that Nancy Pelosi bought a lot of it and is like completely leveraged? So there's clearly going to be a factor of luck. So right now we're at a total amount of 30%. The leftover 70% in the circle that makes up a successful trader is much more of psychology. So that's why I found myself really getting into that world of trading psychology, keeping your emotions under control. I get it that it's very exciting, like hooting and hollering and getting excited, and you feel your blood pressure go up. I've been there. I've been there a lot, but it's also not good. You want to be as we say, as calm, cool, collected as you possibly can. You want to have the emotional response of a robot, as in you don't want emotional response. You want to be as clear and concise in your thought as humanly possible. You want a trading plan. You want to be disciplined enough to stick to that trading plan. And that is all. 70% of the battle is going to be in your brain, and it really doesn't have to do with like your ability to read a chart or an option chain or understand an 8K filing or any of that. That's learnable, but the biggest battle is going to be your own personality. Like I would guarantee that to any of you listening right now, the further your trading and investing journey go on, it's going to be so psychology related. It's an incredible amount of psychology. There are many books written on this. Like I could get you a list of like maybe my top 3 or top 5. I've probably read all the ones that are out there. Some of them are already audio books that you could get on Audible, or you can get them on just YouTube for free, or you can order it if you'd rather just read it. But psychology, super important. Just bought more AMC. Thanks for your hard work. Shout out Doug, buying it at support. I like that. Hey Matt, please check XR Doge out. It's a project that has high potential for big jumps. XRP Army is supporting you. Shout out. PHUN bag holder here. I hear you had an offering that's hurt. Oh, it's hurting. Yeah, I mean, whenever they do an offering that you're increasing supply, so at the same demand or lower demand, the price has to drop. Unfortunately, Spotify has SHIB burn playlist. Played it all day. Shout out, Matt. 75 BKKT 12.5 calls expiring February. Purchase 55 each. Not asking financial advice, but I plan to roll to the 60 straight and pocket profits. Thoughts? BKKT. Let me check out how that one's doing today. So I like what's going on with BKKT. Unfortunately, it is showing a bit of weakness right now, but it's in the crypto world. Crypto's ripping. The announcement, maybe too much enthusiasm. Wait, what'd you do? Friday, purchase 55 each, but I won't roll it to the 60 strike. The 60 strike, you would want to just make sure you give yourself enough time. That's pretty far out of the money. So just make sure you're giving yourself an appropriate amount of time. I literally wouldn't even consider anything before the November monthlies, and probably even farther out. There's now a third gap up potential in EAR from 8 to 22. The technical setup is prime. Shout out L. Randall. L. Randall, are you still destroying Sava, those Sava trades? Put the book list out in the description area. Okay, we'll do Black Rabbit. That's smart. Just got on live at work. Is BBIG. What are my thoughts on BBIG? BBIG, there is the gap above it to 586. There is also a gap to 748. But before you could even consider those two, you need some sort of demand. You need the breakout and the hold above 550. Like I don't see many buyers. I don't see much buying aggression in BBIG at the moment. DWAC, unfortunately, still not finding any demand. Can I look at OCGN? OCGN, is it above 1320 yet? Yes, it is. Or sorry, 1240. Do I have it marked differently on a different chart? So there is the gap below it, but for whatever reason, I marked out 1250. This thing is moving. I would look right to 14, another maybe 90 cents. And after that, I would watch the low 16s. So just under 14 and then just over 16 would be my next watches on OCGN personally, but I have no OCGN position whatsoever right now. Matt could have sworn that NVIDIA was worth 600 a few months ago and now it's worth 200. What happened? A stock split. So more stock cheaper price keeps the market cap the same. It's the equivalent of going from a $5 bill to 5 $1 bills. Everyone is waiting on the TYDE dividend for BBIG. I mean, that very well could be true, but that doesn't mean it's... you want to make sure the dividend is still more hefty than whatever you're currently risking. I'd rather miss out on a dividend and not just be like a bag holder if it doesn't find any demand. How is SHIB doing? SHIB fighting back, getting the doji candle there. Matic, very, very strong. I'm in Matic. My average is around $1.50, $1.55. I was underwater for quite a while because I got it back here. I thought it would bounce off this trend line. I had to hold it through $1 and then all the way back up. But hey, that is life. Hex, I'd really like for that to be back above 40 cents. It's currently at 29. Cardano moving flat. Doge at 26 cents, showing a little bit of life. Solana 205, ETH 4,100, BTC at 62. So that's coming down ever so slightly. PROG waking up a little bit. PROG on the day or intraday, sorry. If this pushes 370, that really makes $4 in like an interesting look. It really does. Question for buying calls. I thought you had to hit a certain price and after that is when you're in profit. A friend bought one and sold before the strike price is profited. How does it normally work? Being in the money or out of the money doesn't necessarily indicate in profit or out of profit. You can buy something in the money right now, and if it goes down but you're still in the money, you would be losing. You could buy something out of the money, and if the stock trends towards you but you're still not in the money, you could be in profit. In the money, out of the money, not necessarily indicative of you being in or out of profit. What do I think about ARQQ? Financial conglomerate. Another financial conglomerate. Sometimes I feel like a financial conglomerate. I just wake up in the morning and I was like, yep, it's kind of like that bones, no bones day. It's like a financial conglomerate, non-financial conglomerate type of day. And today I woke up due to stress and anxiety at 3 a.m. and I've been up ever since. And I was like, oh, this is a financial conglomerate type of a day. ARQQ, I'd watch 23, either a breakout or a smackdown. I would see how it reacts to 23 personally. Made $100 on Tesla bet, sold for 1,200. Cheers. Shout out oil field trash. All right, there we do. ATER, still looking for 915D green. Electric Music, I have questions on BRPM, our merger and the merger with FaZe. Okay, what are your questions? They are planning on merging with FaZe, I believe in 2022. But you don't need to keep spamming that, trust me. Trust me. AMC at support. Very much hope that it holds on here. Very much hope that it holds on here. What else do we have? AMC needs a drink. Let's go. AMC probably going to have a spectacular ER, and we will know what happens when AMC comes out with good news. Yeah, their earnings announcement is scheduled for November 1st. So this, like the next Monday in our lives, most likely going to be 5 p.m. Eastern like normal. But November 1st, I believe, post-market. Post-market. Oh, if you haven't already, just a very friendly reminder, I would appreciate it if you could hit that like button. It would be awesome if we could. It just helps out with the algorithm. Liking is completely free. And don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to join up with the Moon Gang. Obviously, we talk about stocks, options, crypto, that type of stuff. Liking, subscribing, commenting. It just helps with the engagement. Liking, subscribing, commenting are all completely free. And it just helps get this in front of other people if you think people should hear whatever we're talking about. Hey Matt, love your content. Found you back in Jan. I've learned so much from you and the community now that I'm retired at 44. Congratulations. That's a nice retirement. Thank you and to the Ape community so much. Shout out. Happy to help. Love doing it. Bouncing right off of the support. What a beaut. What a beaut, Clark. Quick coffee break, team. Quick coffee break. All right. Alrighty. Oh. You know me. I'm eyeing up those Teslas again. You know how it be. Is this dumb? It feels dumb. It does feel dumb for me to do this. But how dumb does it feel? The show is called Dumb Money, so we can't forget that. Sometimes you have to work with your name. You have to be on brand with your name. Oh, I didn't get the fill though. Unfortunately. Oh, I got the fill. I'm back in it. Back in it again. Back at it again, Daniel. Nope, I didn't get the fill. My apologies. I'm waiting on the fill. Whoa, it's quickly moving away from me. Now I'm just not even getting it. All of you guys are getting it away from me. I take this as a personal slight against me. You're like, we're going to front run Matt just because he announced what he's attempting to do. I still don't have my fill. Give me my fill. Come on. All right. Finally got my fill, even though you guys are all... We're going back at it. We're attempting. Early this morning, I regained the title of the best Tesla trader on this side of the Mississippi, and we're doing like the 18th fight to confirm it. I'm trying to retain the title. We're back in it. I'm defending the title as we speak. Mark B. Chasing, you know it. Matt, you always tell us to not buy at an all-time high. Matt, you always tell us to not get a short-dated options trade. Folks, I hear you. But even Superman had his crypto night. That's the entire point. No matter what it is, I come up with these good trading rules, and when it comes to Tesla, I throw every single rule out the window. You're going to learn a theme about me and my trading. Most of the time, very good at keeping my rules like pretty solid with every stock, but not Tesla. Whatever it is about Tesla, part of my brain stops working, and I literally just got lotto calls at an all-time high. That's not a good trade. Potentially for you, good entertainment if I'm about to blow 10K. So like, you could laugh about it, but in terms of a smart trade, oh, no. Do as I say, not as I do. My dad says that a lot to me. Maybe that's when I'm getting it, where I'm getting it from. Oh, geez, Louise. Hey, Matt, have you ever considered doing a short squeeze play special like you do with crypto? A short squeeze play special. Not with crypto. I know you can short crypto. I just don't know much about the market structure of crypto, and I don't know if it moves like stocks. So we'll see. We'll see. Should we do a hot chip challenge on Tesla? What's today? Hot chip challenge on Tesla. How about this? If Tesla hits $1,250 in the month of... It has to hit $1,250 in normal market hours, 9:30 to 4 p.m. within the month of October. I feel like that triggers... It triggers the chip challenge. $1,250 month of October. So this is kind of an interesting longer term bet. Basically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this is like a live 4-day bet and I can't change it. So even if we go to like 1,150 today, I can't like change it. So this bet will be live for 4 days. If we tap it in normal market trading between now, this very second, and Friday, that would trigger the hot chip challenge. $1,250 in October. This is a record bet. All right, Cosmic locked it in. He pinned it. Matt is the master of not taking his own advice. Cootery, you're very quickly learning about how I do things. This feels dumb, but how dumb does it feel? Matt 2021. What's going on, Ryan? You said you bought puts on DWAC around 50. I know options aren't just about price, but if it's trading at 65, wouldn't a put lose value as it approaches 50? No, if you bought a put, it would gain value. If you buy a put, you're betting on it going down. If you're long a put, if you sell a put, you want it to stay above that value. So basically, Brambles, the easiest way to think of it is everything you know about a call, a put is the perfect inverse. It's the perfect opposite. Perfect. Feels good. It feels good to be the best Tesla trader on this side of the Mississippi. There's not many things. I feel like that's what I should update my LinkedIn to. Matt, some of the best scalp plays are the edge of your seat ones. I'm running 1,200 Tesla calls with you to the moon or not. Clifton Tam, I hope we're going to the moon on it. What do I think about FTM? Am I out of the Russell? Did it lock it in? My one little runner right here? I was basically watching 230. Nope, I have, just so you know, futures pricing is a little bit off. It's not exactly the same because one is the futures of the Russell 2000, the other is the Russell 2000. So this is an ETF of the Russell 2000, but RTY in the futures market is like the prediction of where it will go. And they're very, very similar in terms of their chart structure. They're going to look the same, but their prices aren't necessarily like the exact same price. So I'm essentially targeting 230 in the world of the Russell, but it is, I haven't hit it yet on the futures market. So I have that one runner going. Okay, in terms of FTM, my thoughts on it, super low volume. Wait, what is this? I don't even think this is traded on the US market, so I have like no thoughts. And it looks like it has low volume as well, which I'm not a fan of. PROG, someone said PROG running again. PROG, hey, I said 370. Okay, so now let's get some technicals going on PROG. 385, that's a nice technical breakout. And then between 4 and 403, obviously key psychological area, technical resistance. So if you're in PROG, look for 4, and then you're eyeing up some of those spikes in pre-market trading, potentially in the 6s. Why didn't I put that Tesla money in NVIDIA? That's a great question, John. The simple answer to that is I trade NVIDIA like a normal, like good human being. I don't have the same like mental issues I do with Tesla. So I feel like it's worse content because they're like, oh, Matt just made a very reasonable trade on NVIDIA. When a lot of you, like at lunch today, you could be like, yo, that kid on YouTube, he made the dumbest Tesla trade. So it's just different type of content, you know. No one's sitting at lunch and saying, hey, that duck kid made a super reasonable trade and stuck to his trading plan. It's just not really resonates with my particular audience. I find that my audience is more, they get more enjoyment out of my ridiculous trades opposed to like my well-founded ones. Thanks, Matt. Got into DWAC puts. Looks weak. Playing both sides. Shout out to Sterling Stocks and Claybro. They have helped me a lot. Cheers. Shout out Rob. Ken Griffin owns Ticketmaster. I know it. Hate them. What's going on, Trey? Subway Cut. Everett B. What's going on? That's funny. Stop making excuses for my Tesla addiction. My response to that would be, you guys need to all stop being my Tesla enablers. And then maybe I wouldn't have to make excuses anymore. That's the sign of an addict, I suppose, is putting off blame on everyone else besides themselves. I could totally stop this Tesla trading whenever I want, he says. He says, sweating. Iceberg is shorting DWAC. Okay. I mean, I don't really have much, I don't really care what Iceberg's doing. Like, I have my own thesis on the situation. My risk is 82. It's trading at 69. I'm looking for a gap filled at 52. That's like just a well-defined trade, and it's not influenced by like kind of like a weird account on Twitter. I mean, we don't even know if it's real or their trades are real or anything. It's just a random Twitter account. Addiction, good one, Matt. A shout out. Intervention time. You guys show up. We need to talk to you about your Tesla trading. You guys are all like in my apartment one day. It just says TSLA intervention. You even have Elon there. All right, where are we at? SHIB looking strong. It made a new all-time high today, and it still looks like it's hungry for a bit more. Bitcoin getting smacked at 63,000 in the short term. Let's see if it can make a higher low relative to 59.5 and then continue up from there. Ethereum taking a breather off of kind of a W setup, almost at 4,200, currently at 4,150. Let's see if it can make a base there pretty shortly and continue. Matic, strong as could be. PROG looking good. PROG looking strong. Look for the breakout of 385, then watch between 4 and 403. AMC getting that bounce off of 36. GME, it did bounce off of 172, but it still is looking a bit heavy. A bit heavy right there. IWM, I feel like my trade had to get locked. Okay, it did. So I am out of IWN. I locked that all up. A nice extra 500 on that one. Sweet. Okay. Well, I'm done with that. Like, no reason with getting too greedy. It could keep going, honestly. I was just looking, I was like, oh, 230 is a nice level that I think a lot of people are paying attention to. And even though I'm still bullish on it, I would like to re-enter on a short-term weakness, which is what I should have done with Tesla, but I didn't because I'm a ding-dong. But that's how I would view it. So I just kind of rode this back up, or I've been riding it now for a couple days. I mean, up. And after this point, we're going to be talking about 232, 234 as some opportunity. In the Qs, the Qs were a nice opportunity today. Oh man, I wish I got a hold of that. 383 would have been a nice play. SPY, a little bit more difficult because it's already at a new all-time high. So it would have been tough to like pick out the levels. You would just be riding the momentum. So honestly, in terms of the three major indices we pay attention to, the Qs and IWM were probably an easier play than the SPY, just because we had more technicals to base it on. How's Nvidia doing? Is Pelosi getting richer? Good for Pelosi. You know, there's something sad about like a multi-millionaire politician. And I just like in my heart, I'm like, man, I wish they had even more millions. They really deserve it. And I'm really happy that she finally got her break. You know, multi-millionaire, Speaker of the House. Finally, she got a break and was able to make millions more. It's always nice when you see the good guys win. Makes something in your heart really sing. Oh man, can you do a TA on OCGN? World Health Organization is supposed to give approval for COVID vaccine that actually works for kids today. So OCGN, if I can type it right. 1312. The breakout of 13 is what I'd be watching right where it got smacked today. We already had this level from late April. If it can get above that, I'd then be watching the mid 15s, and 1850 is an option. But basically, I'm watching all these previous levels where it got rejected in between Feb and May. Just be a little careful. If the news doesn't go the way that people are expecting it, obviously you have to pay attention to the gap below it at 938. People are talking about PROG. People buying the dip on PROG. Look at technical breakout number 1, potentially leading to technical breakout number 2. Is the SPY still rocking higher? Man, what a day. Lots of green. You think an AMC squeeze is in November? I have absolutely no idea. I've never put out a squeeze date or a squeeze price level, and I'm not going to change that now because like there's no way to articulate that. There's no way to comfortably say that. And anyone that's putting out a price level or a date, and especially a price level and a date, I bet any amount of money that they do not know what they're talking about. And I know they're like, but hang on, man, I have favorite creator X and he's always telling me this value and this date. Yeah, they're wrong. I don't know how else to put it. Could I be a bit more nice? Could I have a bit better bedside manner and handle that and try to not step on so many toes? I could. Yeah, I probably could be a nicer person. But what's the point of avoiding short-term conflict, as in me playing nice with people who I know when they're wrong, to that makes long... If you avoid short-term conflict, you're going to have worse long-term conflict. And in this scenario, the worst long-term conflict involves your P&L because someone led you astray and built up your expectations that were unreasonable. So if I have to step on other creators' toes to better protect your P&L, I will do that day in and day out. I really don't care about saying something opposite of potentially who your favorite creator is. Maybe I'm not even on your list of favorites, but at the end of the day, I do have a moral obligation to tell you what I believe to be truthful and not worry about the social dynamics of the bigger like social media accounts within this world when you're putting your money at bat. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. All right. So SPY looking good. IWM looking good. Q's looking good. How's Tesla doing? Oh, did you tell me to put that back up just so I felt dumb? What do you think about puts on hood as earnings are today? What is hood even trading at? I need to think about this because, like, even though I don't like them, sometimes that's when your emotions get in the way. You have to think about it as a business. And recently, their money has been higher, their revenue, because of Dogecoin trading, and before that, options trading. I don't think there's been a crazy amount of Doge or options trading recently. So I think even me trying to set my personal opinions of Robinhood aside, I don't think that it'll be a good quarter for it. Just this year, it has been sustained by Dogecoin trading and options trading, and over the last quarter, I don't think we've seen an increase. If anything, I would argue we've seen a drop-off in options trading, a drop-off in Dogecoin trading. So I don't know what the expectations are set to be. So I'd have to look into that and like kind of like look at the previous quarters and see where the earnings per share was and see what the revenue estimates are. But if I had to guess, I bet Robinhood had burned like $500 million this quarter with a B. If I had to guess. I'm curious on your future moves with IWM SPY. Where could I get involved with this platform? Oh, I mean, I trade futures on TradeStation just because that's the account I've had for years and years. But there's a lot of brokerages that allow you access to futures. Like I think Fidelity does. I think Thinkorswim does. Interactive Broker. Like a lot of the main brokerages also give you exposure to futures. But you don't need to trade it on futures. I like futures because of the leverage. It's the same as trading IWM, Qs, SPY. So you can get the exposure to the same underlying thing. I just like the leverage of futures. Mark, don't step on other creators' toes. Save those steps for the Stairmaster. PS, can I get a lime on dem charts? Gracias, amigo. Shout out Matt Kohrs' totally real 10K run. Yo, I actually did crush the stair stepper today. I did like 2,600 steps. But even with that, I came in like a bat out of hell. And there's a new number one person, but I got back to number two. So I'm number two right now. But the new number one, I was like 4 flights away. I did 167 flights, and the number one person did 171. And I was like, if I knew about that to begin with, I would have done that from the start. So I would have just stuck it out for those extra 5 to get the title of number one. So talk about missed opportunity. Do you think if Robinhood lists SHIB, it will be good for them? Probably the way Dogecoin was good for them. And I think in the short term, it would probably benefit SHIB. And depending on how crazy SHIB gets, it might help Robinhood for the quarter. So I think they would want to do it. So if your SHIB bet is on the basis of Robinhood listing it, I think the odds are in your favor, because I think it's like one way that they could like save the like upcoming quarter. All right. Avoiding short-term conflict only leads to stronger long-term conflict. Jordan Peterson, did you buy any PROG? Thanks for all you do. I didn't buy any PROG. I just feel like I missed out on the trip of PROG, but it is what it is. Folks, I did not realize it's already past 11. That is your morning show for today, Tuesday, October 26th. Of course, I appreciate all of the support. I will be back at 3 p.m. today. So in about 4 hours, we will be here for Power Hour together, talking about whatever developed over the entire day. More than happy to do it. So I will be back 3 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget, if you want to trade without market makers, sign up for public.com/Matt Kohrs. And this is pinned to the top of chat. If you're trying to get in on crypto, check out Voyager. It's good in the US, not in the state of New York, just because your government doesn't like crypto. But once you trade $100 of any crypto, you'll eventually be given $25 of Bitcoin, just so you know. But most importantly, I really do appreciate the support. You viewing it right now is exactly why I get to do this day in, day out, and it's what pushes me to do all the research and the interviews and everything else related to keep this show going. So seriously, thank you so much, and I will see you at 3 p.m. Eastern today. And as always, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.